What if the most legendary queen in history returned? Not in the pages of a book, but right here, right now. Imagine this. A mysterious figure emerges in modern-day Alexandria, a woman with an uncanny resemblance to Cleopatra VII, the last pharaoh of Egypt. At first, she's dismissed as a charismatic performer, a historical reenactor with an incredible budget. But then, things start to get strange. She speaks ancient languages fluently, displays knowledge of lost historical sites known only to a handful of archaeologists, and possesses a strategic mind that leaves military experts stunned. Slowly, the world begins to wonder, could it be? Is this really Cleopatra, reincarnated? She doesn't wait for the world to decide. Broadcasting a message globally, she declares her ancient birthright, not just over Egypt, but over a new unified kingdom stretching across the entire Middle East. Her charisma is magnetic, her speech is mesmerizing. She speaks of a return to glory, of casting off the shackles of foreign influence, and of building a new empire that would rival the wonders of the ancient world. Her call resonates with millions. People tired of conflict and yearning for a powerful new identity begin to flock to her banner. She doesn't just use words, she uses action. With a combination of brilliant political maneuvering and what some describe as almost supernatural foresight, she starts consolidating power. She uncovers vast, forgotten resource deposits, revitalizes economies overnight, and brokers peace deals between factions that have been at war for generations. She is hailed as a savior, a visionary, but her message has a dark side. To the leaders of the existing nations, she delivers an ultimatum: join her pan-Middle Eastern union willingly or be absorbed by force. Her methods are swift and decisive. She doesn't command a traditional army at first. Instead, she wields information and influence like weapons. She cripples economies with targeted cyber attacks, exposes corruption that topples governments from within, and inspires popular uprisings that welcome her forces as liberators. Her new empire, the Kingdom of the Nile's Reach, begins to grow, swallowing nation after nation. The world watches in a mixture of awe and terror. The United Nations holds emergency sessions. Global superpowers, who once saw the region as a chessboard for their own interests, are now faced with a unified, formidable player they can't control. They try sanctions, but Cleopatra's new kingdom is surprisingly self-sufficient. They consider military intervention, but are they willing to wage war against a popular leader who in many ways has brought stability and prosperity to a historically volatile region? The lines between hero and conqueror become dangerously blurred. Her ambition doesn't stop. Cleopatra, now hailed as Queen of the Reborn Kingdom, looks beyond the Middle East. She talks of righting historical wrongs, of reclaiming ancient artifacts from museums in London, Paris, and Berlin, and of demanding reparations for centuries of colonial exploitation. Her empire isn't just a political entity, it's a cultural and historical crusade. She gathers the world's most brilliant minds in science and technology, funding projects that promise to leapfrog her kingdom centuries ahead. Think solar-powered pyramids that power entire cities, advanced AI managing logistics with perfect efficiency, and medical breakthroughs inspired by ancient texts. The established world powers are in a bind. Do they appease this new empress, hoping to contain her influence, or do they risk a global conflict against a technologically advanced and ideologically fervent superpower? Cleopatra's army is no longer just a collection of militias. It's a highly advanced, loyal force equipped with next-generation technology developed within her own borders. Drones with designs inspired by the falcon god Horus patrol the skies, and silent, swift naval vessels modeled after ancient Egyptian reed boats dominate the seas. The scenario forces us to ask some difficult questions. Is unity worth the price of sovereignty? If a conqueror brings peace and prosperity, does that justify their methods? Cleopatra's war isn't just fought on the battlefield. It's a war for the hearts and minds of people across the globe. She live streams her reforms, showing gleaming new cities rising from the desert and children of former enemies learning and playing together. She argues that her way, the way of a single, absolute, but benevolent ruler, is superior to the messy, slow, and often ineffective process of modern democracy. As her influence expands, a new world order begins to take shape. Alliances that have stood for a century begin to fracture. Some nations, seeing the benefits of her rule, secretly open diplomatic channels with her. Others, terrified of her power, form a global coalition to stop her. The world teeters on the brink of a conflict unlike any it has ever seen. A war not just between nations, but between ideologies. The old world versus the new, democracy versus enlightened despotism, history versus the future. What would you do? Would you be swayed by her promise of a golden age, or would you fear her absolute power? The return of Cleopatra wouldn't just be a historical curiosity. It would be an event that forces all of humanity to look in the mirror and decide what it truly values. Her war would be a crucible, forging a new future, for better or for worse. It's a fascinating thought, isn't it? A single will from the ancient past reshaping the entire modern world. Pyramids are adorned with neon lights and holographic displays. Flying vehicles zip between towering skyscrapers shaped like obelisks. Have you ever wondered what would happen if history's most iconic queen was reborn in a world of chrome and code? Forget everything you know about ancient Egypt. We're in the year 2077, and the sands of time have shifted in ways no one could have predicted. This is New Cairo, a gleaming metropolis where the legacy of the pharaohs meets the pinnacle of technological advancement. And at its heart, a leader has emerged, a figure whispered about in the data streams and neon-lit streets, a woman with the eyes of a queen and the mind of a master strategist. They call her Cleo. She claims to be the reincarnation of Cleopatra VII. And honestly, looking at her, it's hard to argue. She possesses the same legendary charisma, the same unyielding ambition. But this time, her power isn't just political, it's technological. Her throne isn't made of gold, but of pure, shimmering data. Her influence extending through every network, every satellite, every augmented reality lens across the globe. Under her rule, New Egypt has become a beacon of progress, a powerhouse of innovation that has left the old world power scrambling to keep up. But Cleo's vision extends far beyond the borders of her reborn kingdom. She sees a fractured world, a Middle East divided by old conflicts and new cyber wars. She believes that only a united front, forged in the crucible of shared heritage and future aspirations, can truly command respect on the global stage. And so, the call goes out. From the tech bazaars of a revitalized Baghdad to the vertical farms of Dubai, from the cybernetic strongholds in Amman to the bustling spaceports of Riyadh, she extends an invitation. An invitation to join her, to create a new alliance, a coalition the likes of which the world has never seen. This isn't a plea for help, it's a declaration of intent. Using holographic communication that projects her image across the deserts and cities, Cleo addresses the leaders of the new Middle East. She speaks of a shared destiny, of reclaiming their narrative, not with swords and shields, but with advanced AI, drone legions, and energy weapons derived from ancient secrets. She argues that, together, they can become the architects of the future, not just participants in a game designed by others. Her words are magnetic, her logic undeniable. One by one, the banners of different nations are digitally pledged to her cause. The alliance is forged, but this grand unification does not go unnoticed. The established global powers, the Western conglomerates and Eastern federations, see this new bloc not as a symbol of progress, but as a threat to their dominance. They've controlled the global narrative for centuries, and they're not about to let a reincarnated queen with an army of advanced tech disrupt the status quo. They label her a rogue state leader, a digital empress with dangerous ambitions. The propaganda machine roars to life, painting her alliance as a threat to global stability. Diplomatic channels freeze, and the digital Cold War turns hot. The stage is set for a conflict of epic proportions. The battleground won't be a dusty field. It will be the skies above the Sinai Peninsula, the vast expanse of the Arabian Desert, and the intangible realms of cyberspace. On one side, the colossal, heavily armored mechs of the Western Coalition, backed by their swarms of autonomous fighter jets. On the other, Cleo's forces, sleek, sand-colored Anubis-class battle robots, Horus-inspired interceptors that move with impossible grace, and legions of soldiers in advanced exosuits, their helmets styled after the pharaonic Nemes headdress. The first volley isn't a missile, it's a massive cyber attack. The coalition attempts to cripple New Egypt's infrastructure, to turn Cleo's own technology against her, but they underestimated their opponent. Cleo, a master of both ancient strategy and modern warfare, had anticipated this. Her network, protected by quantum encryption inspired by the geometric complexities of the pyramids themselves, holds strong. Not only does it hold, but it retaliates. Her hackers, known as the Scribes of Thoth, unleash a data plague that temporarily blinds the coalition's satellite network, throwing their coordinated attack into chaos. With the enemy disoriented, Cleo gives the command. The battle begins. From hidden hangars beneath the sands, her armies emerge. The desert floor trembles as massive scarab-class tanks, shielded by shimmering energy fields, roll forward. Above, the sky is a dizzying dance of light and fire. Her Horus interceptors weave through enemy fire, their pilots seamlessly linked with their machines, anticipating moves before they are made. This isn't just a battle of firepower, it's a battle of ideologies, a clash between brute force and elegant, calculated strategy. Cleo isn't watching from a distant command bunker. She's on the front line, aboard her flagship, the Antony, a massive serpent-like vessel that slithers through the air with an eerie silence. From its bridge, she directs her forces with the calm precision of a chess grandmaster, her every command executed flawlessly. She exploits every weakness, anticipates every feint, and pushes her advantage with relentless pressure. She proves that her claim is not one of fantasy but of destiny. The world watches in awe and terror as the tide of the battle begins to turn. The coalition forces, so confident in their technological superiority, find themselves outmaneuvered and outsmarted at every turn. Their rigid tactics are no match for the fluid, adaptable strategies of Cleo's united army. The battle of the ages rages, illuminating the desert night with explosions that rival the stars. What will be the outcome? Will Cleo's Grand Alliance reshape the world order, or will the old powers succeed in crushing this spectacular rebellion? One thing is certain, the world of 2077 will never be the same. The Queen has returned, and her legacy is being written not in stone, but in fire and light. Thanks so much for joining us on this journey into the future. What do you think will happen next? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you won't miss our next dive into incredible worlds. Until next time, stay curious.